I want to talk about we've had a lot of love given our from us to God of War and from many other outlets out there as well. God of War is incredible, so I haven't had a lot of time to play other things. I will be frank and honest with you. But one game that I have gone back to, and I know it's been out for a little while, but it speaks to me. It's called Ruiner, and I started to play it a little bit more in depthly last night and a little bit this morning. Oh, we got it. We got volume coming in off the TV, and I was super impressed by the quality of this game. This is a game published by Devolver Digital, and I thought it would be fun for me to tell you guys a little bit about it. It's also kind of like it's not only a live review on the run, it's also a live buried treasure because I don't think it sold that well. It's a dual stick shooter, so right away, it's in the vein of games like Smash TV or Robotron 2084, the Eugene Jarvis classics that are some of my favorite games of all time. I love dual stick shooters, and I love dual stick shooters that engage a little bit of a plot and give you some really clear objectives and goals. Just like Smash TV kind of really elevated from the sort of primitive ideas that Robotron did. This game also introduces some great new sort of concepts in here. It's a cyberpunk game. It was developed by a Polish studio, and it's got a really cool, slick design, which you can see. I mean, it's very muted, very bleak lighting, cool colors that when they do burst out and pop out, they're beautiful to see, especially all the blood spurts. Obviously, this is a game that's sort of in line with Devolver's Hotline Miami 1 and 2. I don't think it has quite the artistic sort of merit or sort of challenge that Hotline Miami did. The originality that Hotline Miami kind of created. Mostly because this feels a little bit like. They borrowed from Blade Runner and they borrowed from lots of other sci-fi kind of pieces that we've seen before. But it's slick. It's elegantly done. You're not only just running around in these sort of dark and dank arenas blasting away at people, you're also engaged with people inside of this little town called, I think it's called Rengkok. Which is the super metropolis in the future. And you are hacking sort of cybernetic cats that are roaming around. Everybody's augmented, it's the future. And you're dealing with mechanics and you're getting sent on sort of, hunt missions. You're collecting coins and other doodads and things like that. You're meant to kind of connect the dots. You're trying to find a brother that has been taken, and you're trying to infiltrate all of these different bad guy areas, and you deal with a bunch of henchmen and lots of goons, some that have some cybernetic, new abilities and cool weaponry. You take them out, and then there are mini bosses, and then there are like giant robot bosses. One of them is called Mother, I believe, which is, I think, an homage or a tip of the hat to Mother Brain from the Metroid games. And you're basically working up the ladder trying to get to the end boss and free your brother. And along the way, you're challenged with all kinds of things. You can do these special finishing attacks called ruins, which give you these karma coins. You can also open up chests and things like that and collect this karma. And you've got a lot of extra sort of augmented cybernetic abilities as well. You're kind of half man, half machine, and you're hacked. And you've got this voice in your head that's constantly pushing you forward, and she calls you puppy, and she's just referenced as her, and she's kind of saying like, do it again or whatever. And you die a lot in this game, and sometimes she just says that was painful to watch. And literally it is painful to watch, and it's painful to go through, and that's one of the things that sort of holds this game back a little bit. It is excruciatingly difficult at points. Sometimes you feel like you're such a badass and you can just wail through it, and it doesn't seem like there's any problems at all, and then you hit these choke points where you die and die and die and die again. And you have to kind of come with the patience. And I think one of the things that helps me enjoy the game a little more is because I've played so many. Like, I have restarted a Robotron session 50 times or 60 times, to try to get higher in my high scores. So I know what that feeling is like. And Robotron, if you've never played it, is an incredibly difficult and complex game where you're shooting in every direction. Same with Smash TV. So I kind of came with some of the tools to be able to kind of appreciate this, but I know that this is not going to be for everybody. But I like the cyberpunk design. I like the kind of machiney music that's throughout this thing. I like the like there's actually dialogue that's happening in here, not voiced, but you have communication with people, and most of the answers that you can give are you can nod or you can crack your knuckles. And then so somebody asks you a question and you nod or crack your knuckles and then you get into combat, which, there's this sort of dark sense of humor about it as well, and just this really cool stylistic design. I had fun with Ruiner. It is absolutely a game that makes sense in my life, and I don't know if it's going to be perfect for everybody out there, but if you like a slick, stylish dual-stick shooter that looks like this, I think you will have a lot of fun with it. I think that the dev team and Devolver put a lot of love into this sucker. And they just recently dropped a free bit of DLC that gave you a whole bunch of different costumes. You can wear suits, and there's tons of weapons in here, ice beams and laser beams and lots of machine guns. And you're constantly running out of ammo, but when you spend the karma coins, you can augment how much ammo you have. You can basically outfit yourself to be more and more of a badass. And then there's a tougher mode that you can unlock, and there's also arena battles that you can get into. There's a speed run mode. So quite a bit of, I think, quite a bit of value in this dual stick carnage. And it's available, I think, on everything. I think I played it on the PS4, but I think you've got it on the PC and Xbox One, and I would not be surprised if there is a Switch version announced very soon. Ruiner is cool. I think it's fun. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.